new chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Ball is it in your hand. PNM is the plan. Ready, hold it steady. PNM, we are one.
My fellow colleague, the Honorable Lady Vice Chairman, Camille Robinson-Regis, also my colleague, and my soon-to-be parliamentary colleague, soon-to-be member for Laventille West, Kareem Marcel. Good evening. It is a pleasure for me to bring greetings this evening from your sister constituency of Malabar, Mausica, formerly Dabadi Omera. And I must say, it is a pleasure for me also to stand here as the PNM standard bearer for that beautiful constituency of Malabar, Mausica. And I could tell you tonight, Malabar, Mausica is red, ready, and responsible, and will be counted under the PNM's column on the night of April 28. But folks, my background, as the Honorable Camille Robinson-Regis would have told you just now, is in finance. And I like to deal in facts. So I want to bring some facts here for you this evening as it pertains to finance. You see, one of the issues that this administration has taken a lot of licks for within recent time has been this 4% wage increase. You all know that, right? Well, I want to bring a fresh perspective on that. You see, one of the most consequential things that this administration did in the last 10 years that we don't talk enough about was the increase in your personal allowance. And that is something that I talk a lot about with my clients. Between 2015 to 2025, your government gave you 3 increases in your personal allowance, from 60,000 to 72, from 72 to 84, and then from 84 to 90. So someone who would have been working for $7,500 a month between 2010 to 2015 would have been paying $9,000 a year in income tax. As a result of the increase in that personal allowance from 60,000 in 2015 to 90, that person now pays no income tax. So when they look at their pay slip at the end of the month, under the section that says PAYE, they see 0. Between 2010 to 2015, they would have seen $625 every month. At the end of the year, they would have seen $7,500. A whole month's salary. So imagine you working for 12 months, but you only getting paid for 11 and 1 month for gratis. $7,500 going to the government, the Board of Inland Revenue in taxes. Today, because of that one measure, tens of thousands of citizens in this country no longer pay income tax. But that $625 that you're saving every month is a pay raise. That represents 8.3% of your salary that used to be going to the Board of Inland Revenue every month. Now it is going to your bank account. That is an additional $625 that you're taking home. So when you add that 8.3 to the 4%, you actually got 12.3%, not 4. But we're not talking about that. But you have these deceitful, hypocritical union leaders who come in to hold the government in a chokehold and saying 10% and nothing less. But when they go and they sit down in the boardrooms of the private sector, representing the private sector members, they're taking less than 10. They're taking 6 and 7. So they want to tell you the public servant who is earning $7,000 a month or $6,000 a month cannot live on a pay increase of less than 10%, but then telling you the private sector workers could live on 6 and 7%. That making sense? Could never make sense, because we go into the same grocery, we're paying for the same gas, the same cost of living. So when they come to tell you that this government's so wicked and only giving public servants 4%, remind them of that increase that we got in personal allowance. And it wasn't just for the public sector. The private sector got it too. So hundreds of thousands of citizens in this country got a pay raise from the government because of that. But you see, the other side want to give you the impression that this government wicked. You all remember in 2010 when they came in, they offered 5%. And when the union leaders said, we're not taking that, the kitten from Oropuch, who liked to call himself the lion, Rudal Munilal, you all remember he told the labor unions, take 5% and whine to the side. Disrespectful. But these union leaders forget that. So today they want to kill this administration. So all of them talking about yellow is the code. But they wearing green jersey, blue jersey, white jersey. They're confused. So you Mr. Private Sector worker, every month your $100 coming out your pay to go to the union so that these men could enjoy the high life. They're telling you, we commiserate with the poor and the working class. How much money Roger making? What is Roger's salary? What is Felicia Thomas' salary? When Watson Duke became the president of the PSA, first thing he did was to buy a BMW 5 Series. And then he traded up to a Mercedes-Benz. One day I'm driving around the savannah, and I see this Mercedes-Benz pull up alongside me, and I look. And I see all the windows down, and the driver on the steering wheel, and he rock back. And when I peep, so I say, but that is Watson. I almost thought it was myself, because plenty of people say I look like him. But I better look it. When that vehicle got into an accident, he traded up to what? A Range Rover. But they're telling you they could commiserate with the poor and the working class. What Roger driving? What Batiste was driving? Ask them that the next time they come to hoodwink you. But you see, I want to warn public sector workers. The leader of the opposition, who wants to be the next prime minister of this country, never, yes, never. For the last few months, she has been inviting us to go online and read their National Economic Transformation Plan, which is their solution to all of the issues facing Trinidad and Tobago's economy. Permit me to read for you from page 48 and 49 of that document. Here's what it says. Following consultations, a new UNC government will review, assess, and determination will be made on which state enterprises the state may want to hold on to on behalf of the people, which would do better in public-private partnerships. We will gradually reduce the level of state ownership or remove government from several state enterprises which have no strategic national importance or are a financial drain and have no prospect of viability. Y'all understand what that means? So while they jam in this government, they shut down Petrotrin. They don't know the difference between shutdown and restructure. But they are telling you in their National Economic Transformation Plan, which is their manifesto, put them in office, play fast and loose with your vote, and there will be several state enterprises that they intend to put into private hands. Not me say so. Look it here. Read it for yourself. So all of you all who want to take chain up, because Roger telling you 10% and Felicia telling you 10%, careful if you put them in office that instead of 10% you don't get a pink slip. Be careful with your vote. I keep telling people your vote is non-refundable. So if it is, you make the wrong decision on April the 28th, and then within 2 months you realize the mistake, you can't go back by the EBC and say, I make a mistake, I want a refund. You have to carry that for 5 years, 3 months, and 14 days. Be very careful. In 2010, they came with Cambridge Analytica. And I'm seeing shades of that every day when you go on social media. And you see all of these influencers who before never used to talk politics, but all of a sudden, yellow is the code. They could influence you. Can't influence me. They could probably influence the waterfront ilk. But not us. We will not be fooled. But in 2010, some of us were fooled. This constituency fell. My constituency fell. Penny's constituency fell. Don't forget that. The 6 constituencies that represent the red wall, 5 fell. Camille stood strong. She stood in the gap. But I want to give her the assurance tonight. She will have support this time. They will not penetrate the red wall under no circumstances. UNC, under no circumstances. So when in 2010 they told you all, do so. You all remember that? They say when PNM come to ask you for your vote, do so. They disrespected Mr. Manning. Do so. Well, I want to ask you all tonight, when you see the yellow code comes in your neighborhood, looking for votes, knocking on your door, ringing your doorbell and calling at your gate, good evening, good evening, don't hide inside. Come outside. Meet them at the gate and tell them, rock so. It ain't no vote here. Keep walking. And if it is they don't understand that, tell them I ask the leader for instructions. She will give them a tutorial. And on the morning of the 28th of April, get up early, say your prayers, have a good breakfast, call your friends, call your family members, tell them we're going down to the polls to cast your ballot. When you get to the polling station, cast your ballot. Ram your finger in the ink up to your elbow. And if you could reach your shoulder, do that too. And then, on the night of April 28th, wherever we meet, if it's Balize House, in your house, wherever, we will all shout in one accord, after God, because God is great. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. And we have prevailed.
This is a movement, we all in together, not just so one.
This is a new chapter. Join us on the road to victory. On Wednesday, April 16th, Diego Martin, meet us at the Diego Martin Central Secondary School. And Laventil, meet us at the Success Laventil Secondary School for your local meetings. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.